Oh, trust Amanda to muck it all up just as we go live. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you might be in the world. Welcome back to the Same Old Arsenal podcast. Episode 21. The season has begun. Tonight, we are joined by the lovely Amanda. How are you, miss?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you very much, and thank you for asking.
Good.
The return of Mr. Lee Gunner. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me on again, mate. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Judge, what's the story?
How are we? You all right? Good week, Craig. Good week.
It was all right, wasn't it? I have had a good week, actually.
Yeah.
I've had a good week. Not done much, but...
I have. I completed 18 miles around London. Walking.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, it was tough going, I have to say, but I've done it. And, I have to say...
Did you urinate at Wembley?
No, I didn't.
Well, you shouldn't have done.
I still feel that. I still feel that's our home, So I've got to respect it because we'll be back there sometime next year.
Oh.
We'll definitely be there again at Spurs, but I've got a little feeling that we'll get there again next year.
It'll be nice.
Yeah,
it would be nice. Another day out at Wembley. Just before we start the podcast, if you hear lots of screaming and shouting and bottles breaking, I've got the window open because here in my office it's very hot, and the leave insert, for people who don't know that, it's the Irish people. They've passed their exams today, so they're like all out.
All having a party, are they?
Drunk, doing things they shouldn't be doing. But we all did it. So if you hear any shrieking or anything like that, that's where it's coming from. Don't worry.
It's not Lee, is it?
I'm not in the middle of Venezuela or anything like that. So let's get the show on the road. The Leicester game. You needed a blood pressure monitor, a heart rate monitor, a bottle of brandy, and a packet of fags. That's what I had anyway. That's what I had next to me. We ended up winning the game, which was nice. 3 points, off to a winning start. Amanda, what did you make of the Leicester City game?
It was mad. I mean, it's just so Arsenal, wasn't it? I don't even know what to say, to be honest, because I've gone into this season quite upbeat. I don't know why. It's the hope that kills you, in it, with our club. To begin with, obviously, Lacazette scoring was just brilliant. And I had Ola sitting with me, so we had such fun. It was great. And I saw Lee before and after, and we met some other people, and it was really buzzing. I forgot it was a Friday night, to be honest, because I moaned about it all week. I didn't want it to be a Friday. Place was buzzing for a change. We had a bit of atmosphere. It was nice. Lacazette scores, and then we do what we normally do. We just can't defend. We just can't defend for fucking peanuts. Excuse my swearing already.
Sorry about that, if any of that.
Yeah, sorry about that. We've just told her not to swear on this, by the way.
My apologies. Please don't report us to YouTube. Thank you.
And then we just do what we do best. How can I not swear? We just fuck up big time with flipping defending. And I'm sick of it, to be honest. I felt like I'd never been away. I felt like there was no 2-month gap from the season or 3-month gap. And I know we had Koscielny. I know we had Mustafi. I know we had Mertesacker and Gabriel out. I know all this. But still, if they do get injuries in the season, where are we going? What's going to happen? So, Lacazette, very pleased, very, very excited about him. I was so chuffed he joined us. And that header... The football was lovely. El Neni his head. I just loved it. Brilliant. It was great.
Lee, what are your thoughts on the Leicester game, mate?
Well, to be honest, I was quite shocked Ozil started because in the press conference leading up to that, he said that he had a bit of a knock and, he sort of led everyone down the road of he wasn't going to start the game. So I was shocked he started. And to be honest, I look at it now and he did absolutely nothing in the game. So I thought he was poor. The result was right, buzzing with the result. like Amanda said, it's same old Arsenal. Like you go 1-0 up, and then within minutes it's 1-1, and you're like, oh, for God's sake, here we go again. Then they go 2-1 up, and you're just like, oh mate, no, not again, not opening day again. But nicked a goal just before half time, and I felt like we did nick a goal right before half time, because I thought that they were sort of dictating, and we were panicking a little bit really. Second half, again, can't defend, zonal marking off a corner. I thought Bellerin was poor throughout the whole game. It was his mistake that eventually led to the corner. Then the zonal marking, we've got Monreal going up against Vardy. Vardy on the run, Monreal on a standing start. And it was just a calamity, to be honest with you. It was just schoolboy defending. But then fair play to Wenger. Yeah, bottle that, because I won't say that very often.
What did you just say? Exclusive.
Substitutions.
Lee Gunner just said fair play.
Write it down, the time and the date. Yeah, no, to be fair, he actually made substitutions that impacted the game. As soon as Ramsey came on, he nearly scored with his first touch. His goal was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. First touch was brilliant. Second touch, obviously, at the back of the net. And then the Giroud header, you know, he's getting pulled left, right and centre. It was a brilliant header, wasn't it? I do like a header.
Oh, yeah.
That header.
I do like a Lacazette header.
Yeah, but I do like a Lacazette header. Giroud's header was like an impossible header. How did he generate the power and direction?
Tugging him, pulling his shirt. Yeah. One of them ended up on the deck where he couldn't grab hold of him properly. And I mean, to get enough power on that header to put it past Schmeichel, it was a great goal. And
fantastic. And
then after that, as soon as we scored that, you just knew they weren't ever going to get anything back. I mean, the game was virtually dead as soon as he scored. I mean, I've been pretty confident all summer since we signed Lacazette, which is a striker we've needed for a long, long time. I've been pretty confident we'll be all right this season. But that game highlighted massive defensive frailties, and you can throw your Mustafis and your Per Mertesackers and your Koscielnys at me. Like Amanda said, they ain't going to play all season. We haven't got a centre back at this club that I think is either good enough, proven to go a whole season. You know, we've either got Holding, who's young and going to make mistakes, and he got roasted at the week on Friday night. Vardy absolutely destroyed him all game. It was arguable. It was definitely his worst game in an Arsenal shirt. But he had two left backs partnering him. You know, and then when you look at the other centre backs that we've got at the club, they're either past it or not going to play a full season. So, or just to me, we should be going all out.
Or just been,
we've just been sold.
If you didn't know and you're watching live, I think I'm right in saying that Gabriel has joined Valencia in a deal worth 12 million. So make of that what you will. Will someone come in? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Judge, did you watch the game with the normal people, or were you in the executive box? Or?
I was with me. I was with me mates, me and Tony.
Oh, good.
And I have to say that for 80 minutes we just didn't stop moaning. 75 minutes didn't stop moaning. It was poor. For our defending was shocking. I have to say that, like, you know. But for every poor bit of defending we done, there was a bit of memorising lovely bits of skill going forward. It was really like, you know, we looked like, to be honest, that we could carve them up at any time. So the positive was our forward play. I thought the intricate little 1-2s and all that, we opened them up. There was some lovely bits of play. I remember the one in the second half when Bellerin got in. It was a lovely ball. Can't remember who it was from there. Very, very good. Lacazette's movement, not just his goal, his approach play, hold up play, and movement off the ball was brilliant. A fantastic save from Schmeichel for his just before we got the goal. It was an unbelievable save, and you just felt that. I know it sounds silly. I was losing 3-2 before Ramsey scored. That's it. We ain't going to win. But as soon as Ramsey scored, you just felt there was a buzz in the stadium that we was going to go on and win the game. I don't know if you felt that at home, but
I did. As soon as he equalised, I said we're going to win.
We're going to win this. It was just that fear. When Giroud got that goal, Leicester must hate coming to our ground, by the way, because it just seems to be every single time. You know, like the Danny Welbeck goal, that was absolutely hysteria when that happened at that time. And I don't think I've experienced everybody going like mad like that for that Giroud goal. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere. It was worth just.
Yeah.
There's a 75 minutes of crap. It was just worth it. That 15 minutes and bottled that. It was just fantastic. The atmosphere. I felt there was a little bit of a buzz going to the game. Whether it was a Friday night game, I don't know. It just seemed like everybody was a little bit more into the game, maybe because they ain't got to go to work the next day or so. I don't know. I can't really relate to that, but there just seemed to be a bit of more of a buzz into the stadium. Somebody said, "Oh, it's because we made a couple of signs." But if you talk to people before the game, no one's really happy with the transfer window. If they be honest, we know that we've been let down again. But there was definitely saying about that, and the doom and gloom in me again now sees that Gabriel's gone. You know what I mean? And I just think, well, that's another 10 million off the Lacazette bill. Like, it's down to 30 now. We've spent this summer. You know what I mean? Like £30 million we've spent this summer. But with a bit of luck, getting rid of a couple more, it'd be not, down to naught. We haven't spent a penny. Fantastic bit of business. And that's how I feel with the club at the moment. I really do. I feel really let down. We'll just be talking off air like, Gabriel going and probably Chambers is going, straight away, all the optimism is we're going to sign a centre-half and we'll probably end up with nothing. You know what I mean? I really do fear that. I love the tank at left side, but I really want to see him at wide left, if I'll be honest. I think I don't want to see him at centre-back. I want to see us bring in a proper centre-back and him playing on the left-hand side, going down that side, Looked so much better when Chamberlain was on the right-hand side. But all in all, Craig, it was a bloody good show at the end, wasn't it?
It certainly was. It certainly was. While we're talking about centre-backs, we'll come back to Amanda. While we're talking about centre-halves, poor old Rob Holding, as Lee rightfully said, probably his worst performance in an Arsenal shirt after all the hype that we've given him. I sat here last week and said to everyone that Holding would be my first pick every week at centre half, and then he goes and makes me look like a fool. But there's always a but. The critics on him after that game were very strong, and especially by our own fans. After what they've seen he can do, he's had a bad game at Leicester. There's no getting away from it. Harsh critics, Amanda, or deserved?
No, fair enough. He had a terrible game, but he had a bad day at the office, and he didn't have any cover, did he? Who was helping him?
Yeah,
who was guiding him?
Yeah.
Let's not hang him out to dry, shall we? He had a bad day, bad game. He reminded me of that game with the Bowie. Do you remember when he came on and then we had to sub him because he just had a terrible game? I like Rob Holding. I think he's definitely got potential. I think the problem with fans, and this is all fans, is if a young player has a good game, three or four games, he's world class. He's got potential. If he's shit for 3 or 4 games, he's terrible. Let's just see how it goes, shall we? Let's not raise the praise so much and let's not criticise so much. He had a bad game. Let's move on. We know he's got potential. I've got no issue with that. I'm not worried. I'm worried about the whole defence, not just Rob Holding.
Yeah, and on the same note, Granit Xhaka came in for a lot of abuse after the game. His pass for the first goal, it was his fault. He gave the ball away, and they've ultimately scored from the resulting play. And Leicester's second goal, was it the second goal? No, the third goal. Sorry, Leicester's third goal. Xhaka gave the ball away on the edge of the box, which he gave it to Mahrez. Mahrez hit a shot which ultimately led to that corner. For Leicester scored a third, and the critics were out on Xhaka. I'm sitting on the fence a bit with his performance. I thought he played really well. Yes, he's given away 2 bad balls, but he's made 2 goals. 2 wrongs don't make a right, I know. But I thought people were harsh on Granit Xhaka. Would you agree with me?
I didn't see as much harshness maybe as you because I wasn't on social media as much because I was there. He did give the ball away, and it did lead to 1 or 2 goals. He's admitted that. He's apologised, and he said he worked his socks off to try and rectify the mistakes. I love Granit Xhaka. Sorry. I predicted weeks ago that this would be his season. I said, last season he's got a bed in. It's not easy to come into a team in another country. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. Let's give him a chance. Look, last year all we saw was him and yellow cards and red cards and fouling everyone left, right and centre because he couldn't tackle properly. I think let's hope he rectifies that. And I think he's great. I think he's exactly what we need, to be honest.
I'm the same. 5 minutes before kickoff, I tweeted last week, Granit Xhaka, Supporters Player of the Year, 2017-2018.
Yeah, do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me with that. Look, players make mistakes. It's what they do after. No one's perfect, all right? He admitted, he said, didn't he, in the press, he said, look, I just tried to rectify as much as I could, and he did.
Yeah, he did. And I've got the utmost respect for any footballer that comes out in the press and the public and actually admits it. I like that. I also feel that
I'm a little bit different. I don't read any press, any papers, anything. I don't watch Wenger's press conference. I don't do any of it. I obviously I'm on social media, but I make my own mind up about what I've seen at the game. I'll tell you the only thing I do watch is like the Sunday supplement on a Sunday because I know a couple of them. And I think it's funny because I think sometimes they watch a different game. But then, we do see it through Arsenal eyes. I actually thought the ref had a superb game and we all can't stand Mike Dean, can we? But after me and Lee were on a pod of talking about this, and even Ola, because we actually FaceTimed the ref a couple of times, I don't think he did anything wrong, to be honest. I think he let the game flow really well.
Yeah, I've got to say, Mike Dean didn't really do much wrong for me either.
No.
Mr. Ozil's handball.
Yes,
yeah, that's it. So he loves us now, Lee.
But then he also missed the offside for Leicester's first equaliser.
It's not that they miss it. If they don't see it, they can't give it. I mean, think about it logically.
The linesman was on that side of the pitch when that ball came in. Is clearly, is it Ozaki? Clearly offside. Clearly.
What goal
I'm talking about Leicester's first equaliser. He was clearly offside. Everyone wants to talk about Ozil's handball. Go on YouTube, watch their equaliser, and watch the ball going in. He is clearly in an offside position. Lee, Holding and Xhaka, your opinions, please.
Just quickly as well, he also missed a blatant handball where Kolasinac went to cross it. I can't remember who the defender was, but he put his arm up and it hit his arm in the first half.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate there. I don't think that was a handball. I thought that was more.
Ooh, I don't know. Arm was in an unnatural position up above his head. It's an iffy one.
He was 2 yards away from him. He's had the ball spanked at him. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about
that. Rob Holding, like I said, worst game for Arsenal. But he had 2 left backs at centre back with him. So what do we expect? We've got a young kid out there trying to make a name for himself with 2 left backs. One of them's making his Premier League debut. Yeah, and it's difficult. I mean, Jamie Vardy's not the easiest striker to defend. That guy has lightning quick acceleration. He's gonna annoy the hell out of you all game. He's gonna make run after run after run. At the end of the day, like Amanda said, it's one bad game, brush it under the carpet and move on. We all know Rob Holding's a quality footballer. We all know he's got the ability to be a top draw footballer for Arsenal for many, many years. So, one bad game, forget that. On to Granit Xhaka. I rate Granit Xhaka so highly. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I also think this season will be his season. Not sure whether he'll win Player of the Season, but he's definitely going to be in contention for that. Again, we can dig him out for his 2 sloppy passes, which ultimately led to goals. But at the same time, he created 2 goals. It is only the first game of the season, and he has only been here for a season where he's already, every referee's on his case already. Some of his red cards last season were a joke. We see other instances last season where other players from other teams did worse than him and only got yellow cards. He's, in my opinion, with Xhaka, when you're playing with Ramsey one week and then El Neni the next week, then Coquelin the next week. It's very hard for a midfielder, especially in that position of midfield, to build up a partnership with a player. You know, we've had Vieira and Petit. They were the two solid midfielders. They'd sit there, they'd do their job. They knew their games inside out, and they both knew each other's games inside out. Xhaka's had a different partner week in, week out since he's been here. Like, it's difficult for a player to come in from another country and then have 2 or 3 different partners over the course of a season, whilst also not playing at the very early part of last season and going in for one game, coming out for a game. If he gets a good run with a partner next to him for a full season, we will see the best of him all season. He will be one of our best players. I've got no doubt about that.
Absolutely, mate. I've got to agree with you. Even when Ramsey came on, you could see it made Xhaka play better, I thought.
Yeah.
You're dead right, mate, in what you say. How can we expect him to, be this class? Because he is a class player. I'm not saying world class. He's a class player, and it's a great point, Lee, that you say there about having different people playing next to you all the time. It's got to affect you. Judges, Xhaka and Holding, mate.
Well, first of all, about the Xhaka thing, I said when I went to Basel last season, Xhaka and Ramsey, they looked like they was going to be a good partnership, and Lee's quite correct what he says there. Very good point from Lee. That was, I'm just quite shocked by that, but it was a good point, So, but what he's done on a serious note, I think that's key that Ramsey stays fit this season, because I think they complement each other, and Ramsey goes forward. It means that Xhaka can just sort of play that quarterback role, if you know what I mean, where he hasn't got a bomb forward. I felt in the first half in the game with El Neni, he was the one trying to do that, and I don't think that's his natural game. I don't think he's a natural holding midfield player, but I don't think he's a box-to-box player as well. He's one of those players, I think like someone said the other day, a little bit like Petit, that can come in there, and if he can just like pull the strings from that sort of quarterback role, and Ramsey going through into those little pockets. Looking at Aaron Ramsey, I've watched the game a couple of times now. Some of his runs, they're not. I wouldn't say that he just runs off the back of players, and defenders don't seem to look at him. I don't know if it's poor defending or it's just that he does a good little run, and he was getting in the box time and time again. And if there's one player that can pick the pass, it's Xhaka, which is what he done for his goal. Lovely little left foot on the outside of the. He has
a beautiful range of passes.
Yeah, he makes it look easy. It's not easy. I will say about one of the goals. He did give away, I think it was the second one, was it, or whatever. El Neni put him in a little bit of trouble there, if you ever look at that. He was sort of put under a little bit of pressure, where I felt that El Neni should have played a different pass. But, this is the trouble. You play that sort of football, you're going to get caught out every now and then. With Rob Holding, I did say it last week about Rob Holding. I watched him in the Community Shield, and I said that he was giving the ball away a lot. The thing is the two trains of thought with Rob Holding. I think when I was young and I was in the team, sometimes you need someone with a bit of experience behind you or aside of you to just say, like, you do a couple of bad passes and a player comes up to you with a bit of experience and says, all right, make sure the next one's simple. Make sure it's simple. You know what I mean? Get your confidence back. Couple of 5-yard, 10-yard passes here. No one comes up to him and says it. So he's been put in the same position. And I think he was just sort of left out to dry a little bit from that point of view. The second point of that is, so he's had a bad game. Everybody has bad games. Is Ozil going to play at Stoke on Saturday?
Of course he is.
Of course he is. Yeah. He's had a shocker of all shockers. I thought that's one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. But because it's Mesut Ozil and his experience and all that, no one's going to turn around and say, Mesut Ozil's had a bad game, we drop him. So why should they say that about Rob Holding? Because he's had one bad game, you know what I mean, out of 10, 15. I think at the end of the day, if I'll be honest, if Mertesacker is fit on Saturday, he comes in, because he can help him along those last few games. I think if you ever look at it, Rob Holding had a great cup final. Didn't think he played too well in the Community Shield. Didn't play well on last Friday. Maybe because Mertesacker wasn't there, giving him that little bit of influence, a bit of experience, helping him along. I ain't got no real problems with that. What I would say though is, I think if we go into the bigger games against the Agueros of this world and the Harry Kanes and those sort of guys, I think he could be found out. And I don't want him to be, I think that, I would play him along, but I feel that we do still need a young, more experienced player with a bit more mobility than Mertesacker to come in and play that role. I am worried about Koscielny. People keep going on about Koscielny. I don't think you can rely on him so much now. 32, gets niggly injuries. This is what we've got to cut out in this season, Craig. These little niggly injuries, so we can get partnerships, we can get a steady back three. I look at Chelsea last season. Everybody goes on about Chelsea. They had that back three week in, week out, game in, game out. Now you look at Chelsea. Now they've lost Gary Cahill for a few games. Like John Terry never got a game last season. If he'd have been on the bench, they'd be playing every week. So that they could struggle for a few weeks because they haven't got that continuity. So we've got to get that continuity with the back three. So that's very, very important. I also think that with the two in midfield, El Nene. I felt El Nene. Another one gets a little bit of gets a bit of stick when it's probably not. We know he does what's on the box, Craig. He ain't like going to go around 6 players and all that. He does a simple job there, and the same as Coquelin. I still think Coquelin can do a role for us, just sitting in between, in front of our back three, which he didn't do last season. He was marauding into the forward line, which I don't understand. When he first came into the team, he played just in front of the back four and was outstanding. Yeah. I can't see why they've changed that, but they have. That's another mystery for me. But I would, maybe even in this game, play, against Stoke, play 3 of them in there. Play Coquelin, Ramsey, and Xhaka would be like the 3 that I would go for. Like maybe Ozil's going to play, so it may be like Danny Welbeck could be left out of this one. Just shore it up a little bit. I don't know, something that they can do. But I would like to see that particularly. But I would like to see Ramsey come back into the team. So, but I've got no problems with Rob Holding. I think that at the end of the day, he's going to make mistakes. But the worrying thing about Rob Holding is, which worries me about Wenger, that it reminds me of Chambers. 2 seasons ago now? Chambers came in and was outstanding for about 5 or 6 games, and then had a couple of iffy games and was left out and never recovered. I don't want to see that happen to Rob Holding. That's the other thing I've got to say on that, really.
That's a good point, that, mate. Yeah, very, very, very good point indeed. Thanks to everyone who's watching us live, 150 of you. Thank you very much indeed. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Click that subscribe button. It's just down there somewhere. And remember, after every video is finished, about an hour after that, it's up on iTunes and SoundCloud, and you can come and follow us at the Same Old Arsenal. We're joined by Amanda this evening, Lee Gunner, and of course the judge, if you've just joined us. Now, lads, something that won't go away and is kind of worrying me. But when I say worrying me, it's not worrying me for the right reasons. That makes no sense at all, really, Craig, is it? But is Alexis Sanchez. The Telegraph are running a story that Manchester City are sniffing around. They're still sniffing around, and that they're going to launch a £60 million bid. Now, yesterday I put a poll out on the account, and thanks everyone who retweeted it. I think we got about 1,500 votes. The poll was, do you think Alexis Sanchez will be an Arsenal player after the transfer window? And the result of the poll was a resounding 70% yes and 30% no. I don't mind telling you what I picked. I was with the 30% that said no. I don't think Alexis Sanchez...
That was all right.
Yeah, okay. I don't think Alexis Sanchez will be here next season. Or, sorry, after the transfer window. For one reason and one reason only. There is no way that Stan Kroenke is going to let a player of his value stay at Arsenal and walk for free at the end of the season. After Wenger has said today in his press conference that is what he expects him to do. Amanda, Alexis Sanchez, do you think he'll go to Man City? First question. And 2, do you agree with me? Or what's your thoughts?
You know, I've had this conversation for quite a while. I don't understand what Arsenal are doing. I'm happy for him to be here for the next season. Okay. But does he want to play for us? As much as he will give his all, it could be an issue that he won't sign his contract, which means he doesn't want to play for us from next season. From Arsenal's point of view, we've got so much money we never spend anyway. So for me, I'd rather have him for another season. I love Sanchez. I don't care about his strops. Don't bother me. He gives his all every game, as far as I'm concerned. Wenger has come out 5 times now and categorically stated he will be a player after the 31st of August. What is he going to look like if he's not? So this is what's confusing me, because I was convinced he was gone to Man City. Convinced. We are August the 15th. We are 2 weeks away. He hasn't signed, because if he has, we'd have known about it. He hasn't gone, because he hasn't gone. And I don't know what's going on. I have to be honest with you. Arsenal as a club and a business would not let a 30, 40, 50 million pound asset walk away next May. Absolutely. And remember, in January, he can sign for another club or talk to another club or whatever. So my head has continuously said he's off. But Wenger, who, as I said, I don't watch, but rival fans keep telling me that they've now changed their mind and they reckon Sanchez is staying, because he's not even said we'll have to wait and see. He's not done his usual cryptic crap. He's come out and said he is a player after he's with us. So I'd like to ask all of you, Arsenal have never done this before. Anytime any players come out and said they want to go, they've gone. Van Persie, Nasri, Adibor, the list is endless.
Okay, but he also come out and told us that RVP, Adebayor, Fabregas, Sagna, Nasri weren't leaving.
Has he categorically done what he's done today again? I don't remember him doing that.
I do. He told us Robin Van Persie wasn't for sale.
I think
2 weeks later, he fucks off to Man United.
Craig, I think what you'll find is when he does go, because I'm very confused with this issue. When he does go, he'll come out and say the board made the decision. You know, he'll say it's out of my hands. That's what he'll do. I think we are a laughing stock, and I'm not joking. This angers me more than anything that they have allowed this again with Ozil, Ox, Sanchez, 3 very important players. We are 2 weeks away from the season, the transfer window closing. We're already started against Leicester, and you can see the frailties there. I don't know, but I can't answer that. I just know Arsenal as a business wouldn't let him walk next year for nothing.
Liga, it's not just Sanchez, is it? I know you've asked the question on Twitter today. Well, how comes anyone ain't talking about Ozil? He hasn't signed the contract yet. Great point. We've now got people talking about the Ox leaving for Chelsea for 35 million. He hasn't come out and said anything. Now, my only thing I will say there is at least Mesut Ozil has actually come out and said that he wants to stay here, that he's happy in London and he wants to play for Arsenal. Okay, he hasn't signed his contract yet.
So why would he say it?
Yeah, well,
why would he say that?
True, that's what I was just about to say. Perhaps he's leading us up the garden path. Perhaps he is leading us up the garden path. But at least he's come out and said something, and perhaps that's why we're all laying off him. But again, today we're seeing reports that Oxlade-Chamberlain's been linked with a £35 million move to Chelsea. What's your thoughts on Ox and Sanchez, Lee?
First of all, I'd like £1 for every transfer rumour these journalists get wrong. I'd be a multi-millionaire right now, sat in a mansion in the middle of an island. Just very quickly on Ozil, before I come on to Sanchez and Ox. Mesut Ozil's come out and said, "I love the club." No, he don't. He don't love the club. None of these players love the club. Let's just get that straight now. None of them love the club. We all love the club. All 4 of us sat here. None of these players love the football club. He said he loves London. I'm sure he does. It's the best city in the world. He's been back 7 weeks, Mesut Ozil. 7 weeks. He's been back before Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's been back before Alexis Sanchez. If he loves the club that much and he loves London that much, why didn't he put pen to paper? I'll tell you why he's not put pen to paper. He hasn't put pen to paper because he's protecting Mesut Ozil, the brand. Yeah, Mesut Ozil's got more Twitter followers than Arsenal. Yeah, fans of this club support Arsenal because he plays for us. As soon as he goes somewhere else, they'll support that club. Yeah, people come and watch Arsenal because Mesut Ozil plays here. He set up his own clothing brand, etc., etc. If he loved the club and really, truly wanted to be here, there'd be no question about signing a contract. He would have done it 7 weeks ago. Yeah, in my opinion, and now I'll lead on to Sanchez and Ox, I think all three of them have took the mick all summer. I think all three of them are taking Arsenal for a ride. I think they all want to try and get out of the club, all three of them. But I think all three of them have done it in different ways. Oxlade-Chamberlain's not said anything publicly. Alexis Sanchez has come out with that I want to win the Champions League. I want to win trophies at the highest level, which is a snide dig at Arsenal because we ain't in the Champions League. And then Mesut Ozil's come out in a tactical way of I love the club. Well, all three of them, we're sat here now, 2 weeks from the end of the window, and all three of them, we still don't know whether they're going to be here at the end of the window. Yeah, so in my opinion, I think all three of them have took the mick. I think all three of them are waiting to see what the other one's doing before making their decision. On your poll, I actually voted that Sanchez will still be here at the end of the window. Personally, this is just my opinion. I think all three of them will sign a new contract. I think Alexis Sanchez will have some sort of clause in there that says that if we don't reach a certain level or challenge or whatever it may be, that at the end of this season, he can leave. And at the end of the day, let's have it right. He's the one that's worth the most money. So, you know, if we strap him up to a new improved 4-year contract, come next summer, he's worth 70, 80 million quid in the current market. We've just seen Gylfi Sigurdsson go for 45. So next summer, he'll be worth nearly 80 million quid. I do believe all three of them are signed. I think that all three of them are just taking the mick and getting there. I think with the Ox, I think personally he just wants to run a games in a set position. He sort of got that at the back end of last season, but let's have it right. He wants to play central midfield. He doesn't want to play right wing back. He is a central midfielder. Could he get offered that at Liverpool? Could he get offered that at Chelsea? I don't know. I can't really comment on how great their midfielders are. But yeah, the thing is, I look at it, and in my opinion, I just look at it and think, you know, this happens all too often at Arsenal. You know, we could list in another 6 players that are running out of contract the following summer. So, we've got Jack Wilshere to this list as well. You know, Jack Wilshere's been touted as going to Sampdoria. He's going to some Turkish club I can't pronounce. You know, then he's linked with Aston Villa today. At the end of the day, there's only a few people at Arsenal that are to blame for this, and that's the manager and the people above him. Yeah, these deals should have been negotiated, signed, and done a year ago.
Absolutely.
Or at least 6 months ago.
That's why I said last summer.
Exactly. And if they're not done, you give them an ultimatum. You sign on this day by this particular date. If you don't, we're cashing in. And if that means that we sell Alexis Sanchez to Man City for 70 million quid, so be it. We've got 70 million quid to go and spend on another player.
Yeah, but Lee, what happens if that player didn't want to go to Man City or Liverpool or wherever? You can't force a player to go if he's in contract.
Of course. But I mean, with Alexis Sanchez, I think they're probably queuing up to buy Alexis Sanchez, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, Bayern Munich was the first one touted. Then we got PSG, who have just done 200 million quid on Neymar.
Yeah, but Lee, the players want to go. That's what I'm saying. The players if they're in contract, you can't force them to go.
But what I would say, after the Neymar debacle, contracts mean nothing.
No, but the players still got to want to go. I'm not talking about the contracts.
No.
If Arsenal say
exactly what you're saying.
Neymar brought him out of his contract.
I'm not talking about the player. I'm saying if Arsenal goes to the player and go, sign here or you're gone, well, the plug, I'm not going anywhere. Thanks. I don't want to go there.
See,
So
that's
it works
that's
both
the option.
ways.
There's two things a player can do, right? They can
Can't force them.
either say, well, bollocks, I ain't signing for that club.
That's right.
Yeah. Or they go and sign for the club. Let's suppose, for example, Man City is the only club Alexis Sanchez has got chasing him, and Arsenal accept a bid of 60, 65 million, whatever it may be. Yeah. And Sanchez goes, I don't want to go and play for them. Yeah. Then we're snookered.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we've got a player that's going to run out and go for free next summer, yeah, and is refusing to go to the only club that's chasing him. That I get. I totally get that. Then we are snookered. So then in that situation, we then say to him, right, well, I'll tell you what then. You sign a new deal. We'll give you 350 grand a week, whatever the figure he wants. We'll give you 350 grand a week. Next summer, we'll sell you. Yeah, and, you know, I think Alexis Sanchez is the biggest asset out of the three. I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain, I love the geezer to bits. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I think he's been slightly ruined in his progression at Arsenal because he's played so many different positions.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant at right wing back, absolutely fantastic. I don't think he's got the pass range or the passing accuracy to play in central midfield, although that is his position. With Mesut Ozil, I just don't think anyone's going to take a chance on spending that sort of wages as well as the fee to go and sign a player who is a luxury player. When it's going well, he looks fantastic. When you're up against it, you've got to roll your sleeves up, he goes missing every week. So if it was me, I'd be throwing everything I could at Alexis Sanchez just to sign a new contract. Yeah, with a thing in there that says, in the summer, you can take your pick. Whatever club you've got your heart set on, I will guarantee we get you to that club. Yeah, and
do what they did to Suarez.
Exactly.
Suarez did it, didn't they?
Suarez, yeah. Ronaldo, Fergie did it with Ronaldo. You sign a new contract, we'll say he's Real Madrid next summer. And he did. And, you know, let's have it right. If we sign him up to a 4-year deal, he's going for £80 million next summer. £80 million will go and buy us a decent replacement. It ain't going to buy you an Alexis Sanchez because they're going for nearly 150 million now. But it's going to buy you a quality replacement that, you know, add a few quid onto it maybe because we have a massive war chest every summer. Go and do £100 million on a player. Dybala's got £110 million buyout clause. Go for him next summer, you know. So yeah, as much as that, you know, I look at it and I just think that the only reason there's all this talk of Ozil and of Sanchez leaving is because these tin pot journalists just make up a story. Yeah, they then throw it out there. They then assess how it's gone on Twitter, Facebook, and any other social media, and then they evolve the story from the reaction. Yeah, Chelsea probably ain't even bid for him for Oxlade-Chamberlain. They probably ain't even come in for him. There's probably no talk of it whatsoever. Yeah, and it's just a way of sort of scaremongering the Arsenal fans into thinking, oh no, look, what's happening? Yeah, and then they put it out there. They get the reaction off of that, and then they go with a different story. We've had the story of Lamar all summer. Now that's dead in the water, isn't it? That was a done deal 50,000 times all summer. Done on this day, done on that day, done on... It's a load of rubbish. Nobody really knows what's going on other than the clubs involved and the player and the agents involved. So in answer to your question, yes, I do think Alexis Sanchez will be here.
10 minutes later. 10 minutes later.
The end of the window, yeah.
God, you still awake.
But I think they're all playing the game.
They are, mate. And yeah, after listening to you there, you make some very, very good points there. I'm hoping that they're going to put some kind of clause in the contracts for all of them. You know, Sanchez especially. Look, sign here, 3-year deal, 350 grand a week. If we don't make the Champions League next year, you can go. No problem. And the same with Ozil. There you go. Here's what you want. If we don't make Champions League next year, you can go. Judge, what are you saying about Wenger's comments today? About he was asked, is he prepared to let Alexis Sanchez leave for free next summer? And basically he said yes. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think also got to take the point on this, and I've had a lot of thinking about this. How can you say to Alexis Sanchez, right, sign a new contract now, Mesut Ozil sign a contract here, when the manager's let his contract go right down to the wire?
Great point.
Wenger let his contract go right down. I can make my decision when it suits me. I'll make my decision. I'll tell you when I'm going to sign and when I'm not going to sign. Left it to the right last minute. So how can he now turn around and say to anybody else, right, sign a contract a year before? That is the problem that we've got now, because his contract situation was farcical going into last season. Farcical. He's even now admitted that it's cost us points because of uncertainty in the camp. So now, well, love and behold, we've got it again now with another 3 players. The other point is Oxlade-Chamberlain. Whether Chelsea are in for him or not, right? He could be going up to Arsenal are offering him $100,000 a week, right? Now he could go quite easily to Chelsea, because I know that I'd do this. Well, Chelsea have offered me 150 to go there, right? Well, okay. Well, if you don't give me that 150, I'm going to go for nothing and cost you 35 million. He's laughing. So I reckon, in the eyes of, I think he does want to stay, but I do believe with Oxlade-Chamberlain, he was virtually agreed that he was going to sign for 100,000 a week, right? He's hearing Ozil's going to get 220 grand a week, so he's going to get 120 grand more than him. Does that warrant that? Because in my eyes, I'll be totally miffed at that. Someone that don't even celebrate goals is going to get 120 million pound more than me, right? A week, right? Then you've got Sanchez, who's going to get 300 grand a week. That's fair enough. Another 300 grand a week, fair enough, because you can't argue that. He deserves it. So all of a sudden, Chelsea have come in now, and I think he's just thought, hold on a minute, we can get some more money here. Why not? Because Arsenal have allowed this to happen. Now, the going rate for someone like, if Oxlade-Chamberlain, by the way, has not progressed the way he should have done because of injuries as well. Let's not forget that. He's had a couple of long-term injuries, which we've supported him through, and whatever, like we've done with Van Persie and everything like that. The reason that he's probably got a year left of his contract is because they wasn't sure of injuries and all that. But now, all of a sudden, he's in a bit of a key situation. Now, he could be saying to himself, well, if I sign this 100 grand a week contract, right, financially, that ain't no good to me, because next year I can sign for 150 with Chelsea, cop 35 million in a transfer signing on fee, because all that fat transfer will be my money. It's just a bad situation. And we've allowed this to happen. We've allowed it to happen, and I can't see out. I can't see. If I was Oxlade-Chamberlain, I would not be signing a contract, whether I wanted to stay at Arsenal or not, unless they throw real big money at me. And I also think that Lee come up with a good point there also, that I think he's waiting also to see where he's going to be playing this season. Because I tell you what, it's a key game next week when Sanchez comes back in, because Sanchez will play on the left, so Welbeck's got to get left out. Koscielny will be back. So where does Chamberlain play? At the minute, he's being square peg in round hole because he's playing out on the wide left of a wing back. But when it comes to the crunch, when everybody's available, is he left out or does he play? And that's the key. You know what I mean? And at this moment in time, there's no way he can be left out over Bellerin. No way. But you just don't know with Wenger, and that's the thing there. Now, for Arsene Wenger to come out and say, I want to that Sanchez can run out his contract, right? Now, that tells me two things, Craig. You know what I mean? Like when he didn't allow that to happen with Fabregas, and he didn't allow that to happen with Van Persie. Didn't let it happen to Nasri because we needed the money. Right, we needed the money for the stadium, whatever. Like, so basically, what Wenger's saying is now we've got loads of money because we can afford to do that. We've got loads of money to do what we like. And again, I'll go back to the fact, like, right, well, why haven't we getting players in? Because he's skinflinting on, I'm not going to buy Lamar because I think he's worth 45 and they want 50. So I'm not prepared to do that. But there we go. Well, I'll say we've got loads of money. We're prepared to throw it away for Sanchez. What is the man on?
Yeah, good point, mate.
What is he on? You know what I mean? Like, it's all right. If you're Manchester City and Chelsea, you can do that, right? You know, I've got Chelsea, champions of the league, right? Yeah, champions of the league. And I was at Chelsea last week. Champions. They're moaning and groaning, not got enough players in. They've spent £170 million. But they need more. They're not satisfied.
People are having a go at us for wanting more after spending just on one player.
But we've got £40 million. We spent £40 million. Fifth in the league. And everybody is going to the ground and saying, that's enough. No, it's not. You know what I mean? What you know, you've got Gazidis going, oh, we want to change things. We want to encourage young players coming through. Of course you bloody want to encourage it because they don't cost nothing. You hypocrite. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and this is the thing what's going on at the moment. There is, you know, 40 million, Craig, on Lacazette. That's all we've spent. By the way, that'll go down, as I say, to 30 and all that, like, but he's prepared to just throw away 60 million on Sanchez. You know what I mean? Nah. And the worrying fact for me is that they will sell him, right? They will sell him, because I'm in the 30% that said no, they'll sell him and we won't get no one in. Or we'll make a Wobie the player to take his place. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we've been sold the dream. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the dream is we're supposed to have all this money coming in. And listen, Craig, don't tell me this. We have got money coming in left, right and centre on TV deals that have quadrupled. Do you know what? And another key factor of it is, right? What he said the other way. Yeah, we don't need Champions League football now because it's not as rich as what it used to be. We get money from other areas now. You know what I mean? So it's not the be end and end all getting the Champions League. Right, where it was the be and end all a few years ago to get the money in. So, it don't matter about Champions League now because we're crashing it in somewhere else. It's money, pile it up. You know what I mean? I bet they go around each other's house on Thursday night going about, what are we going to do about taxes? Don't worry about that. Pass the cash. How much we got? You know what I mean? How much we take this week? You know what I mean? Not interested in sorting the defence out. You know what I mean? Baldy, what about defence? There's we've got another 10 grand come just in, Arsenal. Thank you very much. That's what it's like at the moment, the club. It's so annoying. You know what I mean? Like, if you really wanted to win this league, if I was a manager of Arsenal Football Club now, I'm with Arsene Wenger, and I see what Mourinho's doing. Let's get it right. They hate each other. Seeing him buying Lukaku, walking out like he's jacking, like, 4-0 win against West Ham. I'm the man, right? The one thing that would make you do it is go, right, I'm not having that snarly ass git do what he's doing to me. I'm going to, give me the money for Van Dijk. Give me the money for an arse centre, and I'll take him on toe-to-toe. And do you know what? If he got Van Dijk and another big centre midfield player destroyer, we'd run all over Man United because we've got too much attacking flair in the other areas for them. But we do not go for it. Like, we're skin flimp on whatever. And then he turns around and says, I'm prepared to let Alexis Sanchez leave for nothing. Get your heads around that, guys. Get your heads around it, because this is what we're having to put up with. And there's no justification for it on any level. There's no justification for it.
I think even the people that, widely support Arsene Wenger and back him every week, even they have to be sitting in there, sitting back tonight and scratching their heads after that.
Exactly. Well, I can't see why you can't be. Listen, I want Arsene Wenger nothing to give me more pleasure than Arsene Wenger lifting up that trophy and Mourinho standing there crying in his, in his own piss, if you like. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause that's the way I feel about that man. You know what I mean? Like, and they would give me nothing more pleasure, but it just doesn't seem to do it. He's even turned around and said 2 weeks ago, Craig, I can't. It's unbearable. It's good that players are in their last year of their contract. Explain to me how good that is, because one, they don't want to get hurt because they don't want to lose out on a big contract the next year. 2, in January they can go and sign for somebody else. Do you think that Kolasinac was totally focused on Schalke last season after he signed for Arsenal?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Human nature, mate.
Human nature, of course it is. So someone now say to me, where's the experience on that? Ask the questions on these press conferences that the fans want to hear. When is Sanchez going to sign? When is we're trying to prepare a game for Stoke now. I honestly think if we can beat Stoke and beat Liverpool and go into the international break with 9 points, we were in a really good position to kick on this season, and it could all go tumbling down a day later because of a transfer window, which again we've not done right. How many more transfer windows have they got to go through before they get one right?
Yeah,
I just like to know that. Turn around and go. You should go. Do you know what? Someone's done their job properly now, because they're not doing their jobs properly. Claude's come up with a great question. You know what I mean? You know, in the summer, how comes it's taken so long to decide to get rid of the players now? Well, surely aren't they talking about that in May? Well, he's not going to be here. He's not going to be here. We're going to let these go. So let's get them offloaded in May. Why are we waiting till now? It's
like there's never any meetings or anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll just leave it to Arsenal. Sure, Arsenal will deal with it. You know. Just as Lee says there about Claude coming in with a question. Good evening, Claude, and thanks for that, mate. We'll ask it to Amanda. Amanda, why is it taking us so long to realise that we've got to get rid of these boys? We've got to get rid of this deadwood.
They may be deadwood to you, but they might not be deadwood to Arsenal. That's all I'm going to say. We may think they need to go. The manager and the management might not. And it is Arsenal. I'm shocked that anyone's shocked, to be honest. It's the same every year. I'm bored talking about it, to be honest. I can't sort of disagree with anything both Lees have said. But we'll be saying this next season and the season after. And the season after. And there's a point, actually, that Wenger has actually come out and said that he blames himself now for going, I'll sign when I want, I might sign, I might not. Of course, it's put uncertainty with the players. And the fact that he came out and blamed the fans for a lot of the bad results is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I went to quite a lot of away games up north last year. I saw what happened. It doesn't help. But you know what? If those boys are going to get affected on the pitch by about 5 fans having a scream at them, I'm sorry, you should be playing football. But going back to your point, what we think needs to be shifted out and brought in, obviously Wenger doesn't, because my dad has been screaming for a centre-half for about 8 years. And you know what my dad thinks about Wenger. So I don't know what to say anymore, because as far as I'm concerned, if you put me on that board, we'd have a club run properly. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't understand it. We have got so much money. And the reason why Champions League doesn't mean as much this year, conveniently for our club, is because we are getting more TV money. There's more money coming in everywhere. If you see the sale of the shirts alone, whatever. And I just feel that we have no answers as fans, because most of us think the same way. Unless you are very pro towards Wenger staying or Wenger leaving, whatever camp you were in, and there's no point discussing it anymore because he's staying, and I can't be bothered with all that. You are. I just think we're speechless with it all. You can hear both Lee's frustrations. Where I sit at the Emirates when I go to away games, it's the same thing. But I did go with a bit more renewed hope. I'm gutted, and we go back to the contract thing. I think it's a disgrace what our club do, and I think Lee Gunnett is right. It should have been tied up last summer, but it isn't as easy as what we think. And I honestly am gobsmacked. We're in the middle of August, and this is still all going on. This is why the transfer window should be shut July the 31st. End of season starts. You do not have any of this. Because you know what? We haven't even discussed much of the Leicester game as such, have we? And we've got Stoke Saturday night that we might come on to. All we're doing is discussing this. Everywhere you go, people are saying to me, do you think Sanchez is Spain? Do you think Ozil's going? What do you think's going on? No, I want to talk about who's playing Saturday night at Stoke. That's the next game. And I'm not going to Stoke, but I'm going to Anfield. And then I found out Sanchez might be fit for Anfield. And last time I went to Anfield, he put him on the fucking bench. Don't even start me on that. Don't even. That is my biggest bugger of last year.
He was a naughty boy, wasn't he?
I don't care. Then don't play him. If you're going to discipline him, don't bring him on at 45 minutes, because that's even more frustrating for us fans. Yeah. I was so pissed off, Lee. I can't begin to tell you.
Yes, I was fairly pissed off that day as well, yeah.
So there's a lot of things we don't understand about our club, but we bleed Arsenal. We support Arsenal. It's our religion. And unfortunately, we can't go anywhere else because we're not customers. You can't go and support another club. You can't go and shop in another supermarket. You can, but you can't with football. So we have to put up with it. That's the problem. And the problem is they know they've got us for that reason. And I don't know anymore, boys. I honestly don't know. All I do is I just hope that by the end of the window, everything is sorted.
Lee,
that's all I can say.
Is there any questions about Saturday? So we can...
No, I've got the questions are coming in from Sabine. He's saying question for the podcast. Why are we not after Monoles at Roma? What a top class player.
Yeah, again.
Because I'll answer that is because we're Arsenal. We're half the no in top class players. You know what I mean? So
yes, very true. That's very true. Very true indeed. Let's. Apologies to everyone. Now, we can't get into all the questions. There's been so many, and we have gone way.
There is so many.
Way over time. Lee, is there any ones there?
The question that keeps coming up, dear. Would you swap Draxler for Sanchez? I think we've had that one before.
We've had that one before, yeah.
No.
Someone's saying, "Are we missing something here?" Johnny Evans is Manchester City put an £18 million bid in for Johnny Evans. Would we go for Johnny Evans?
No.
Thank you.
No.
Not
Johnny.
I would have gone for Matuidi. I would have gone for
Matuidi
for 13 million quid.
On the Draxler one, if it was this season, I would. I'll do it now.
Yeah, I'll do it now.
Yeah, do it now.
I'll do it now. Yeah, I'll do it now.
Yeah. Any more?
This is a good one. I've got to go on about this. It's about Chambers. We had no centre halves last week. He wasn't even on the bench. So what's happening with Chambers? Dom's put this one in. If Chambers is not fit, does Arsene Wenger want him gone? He was sitting beside Per Mertesacker on Friday.
Well,
and why has he been completely shunned?
It's a good question.
He's being told he's going. He's going.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Lee took the words right out of my mouth. He's going.
Can I just say something as well?
I just want to add to a little bit to that. If that is the case that he was going to be so, why loan him out to West Brom to Middlesbrough last season?
And then sell him for less this season.
Surely to go to Middlesbrough was giving the experience for the Premier League. It's a
Some of these questions remain a mystery, Lee.
Yeah, but
there are questions that can't be answered. It's as simple as that.
Like somebody says he ain't in Wenger's plans. Well, we know that. You know what I mean? It's just that. This is, Jim. I'm not having a go at Jim. Far from it. Personally, think that Wenger can't win. If he wants to keep Sanchez, he gets moaned about. If he sells him, he gets moaned about.
Yes, but Jim, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about contracts. Wenger should have had Alexis Sanchez's contract signed, delivered. He's our best player.
If Wenger had actually done his job properly in the previous,
we wouldn't be talking about
that. We wouldn't have been finishing fifth, which means we would have been higher up, and Sanchez probably would have signed a new deal anyway.
Absolutely. Amanda.
Yes, darling.
Your lineup for Saturday, please. You're the manager. This is a little game we've started playing called You're the Manager. You're the manager. Who's playing?
Check. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Is everyone fit? Or do I get my choice?
Well, you should have done your own work, Amanda. Come on.
Oh, shut up, you.
Only
homework. It's Wednesday night. Who do we know is fit for first Saturday?
He's had his press conference today. He said who's available.
I haven't watched him. I don't watch his press conferences.
Well, you have to do those things when you come on here. We're very professional.
Are you?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just ask my followers.
Ask your followers, and we'll come back.
Lee, I take it you've done it, haven't you, Lee?
I've done my homework, mate.
Shut up. No one told me I needed to do homework.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm going with Czech because I don't rate Ospina. I'm going with 3 at the back. I think he'll go with Holding, Mertesacker, Monreal, Bellerin,
Achilles and neck.
Is he going with Bellerin or Mum in an Eye? No,
He's
fuck
called
Bellerin.
the BFB
No.
on this podcast, the man.
No, I'm not going with Bellerin. I'm going with Oxlade-Chamberlain. The tank at left wing back. Ramsey and Xhaka. Welbeck and Ozil, and then Lacazette up front.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Exactly the same team as I've got, Lee.
Oh, listen to you.
same
Am I the blame?
All these stick
I looked
together.
at it earlier. It's exactly the same team, Lee, that I would have picked.
Thank you very much, Craig.
Am I? And Giroud on the bench coming on at 69 minutes to score another wonder goal.
The one question I would ask for that then, so we don't see that Mustafi, our £30 million central defender will come in place of Mertesacker. You think we'll go with Mertesacker?
Yeah, definitely Mertesacker. Do you know what, Mertesacker, I'm not being funny, right, but he had some little graze on his eye. Why didn't he start against Leicester?
I think because he had some sort
of
slight concussion and you have to have so much time or something. I don't know.
That's actually true, yeah. I think it's the same with boxers. If they get knocked out,
or have slight concussion,
they're not allowed to fight for fucking 3 months or something. Something stupid like that.
Can you imagine
I know he...
Very true.
I know he obviously done that in the Community Shield, but a week later he still can't play, or 5 days later he still can't play.
Yeah, I think it's something to do. You have to be signed off and all things like that.
It's got nothing to do with him being a pussy.
I wasn't alluding to that. You said it, not me.
It's the rules. It's the
rules. Fair enough.
You have to be signed off now. I know this. Like you have to have a medical doctor sign you to say that you can play.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my God, look. Lee just told us something that
means absolutely buckle.
Off air, I'll tell you something. All right?
Lads, I think we're going to finish it up there. We've gone way over time.
Have we? That's gone quick.
Way over. Amanda, I'm a bit concerned that you haven't enjoyed yourself this evening.
What do you mean I haven't enjoyed myself? I've loved it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why? Just because I didn't do my homework?
No.
Just give me detention.
Okay.
I'll do my lines.
Do your lines.
I must not do my homework.
Lee Gunner, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Nice one. Appreciate it.
I would imagine that everyone watching knows about your YouTube channel. But if you don't, go over and subscribe to Lee's YouTube channel.
It is very good and it is very, very funny.
You will see a different.
I got a little bit of a ticking off on YouTube yesterday. Actually, I got a little ticking off for one of my titles not being so great because it had RIP in the title. So yeah, YouTube gave me a slap on the wrists and told me don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
Can't do it again.
So
what's this about your reputation? You seem all right to me. So, what's this?
To be honest with you, most of it is based on fitting in with a certain crowd, should I say? But we'll go there another day.
Don't be a sheep. Oh my God.
Exactly. Listen, at the end of the day, like I said to you before, the only person I need to impress is my daughter. Other than that, couldn't care less what people think of me.
And she loves it. And I can't wait for her to go back to school after the weekend, after the summer holidays. I say, do you see Martin on YouTube? I can't wait for all the kids to watch it, Lee. It should be good. But no, seriously, very entertaining YouTube channel. Talking from the heart. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Doesn't care. Yeah. Doesn't give a shit what you think. It's his opinion.
Am I the only one without a YouTube channel then?
Yeah. But don't be a sheep.
No, I won't be a sheep. I'll just have my own little Gooner Girls podcast. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Are you doing that again?
Gooner Ramble Girls. Yeah,
girls allowed.
Girls allowed. Yeah, very good girls as well. Thank you.
We'll go and check them out as well.
They're very good as Edmonds. They're very good. Like it is very good.
Sure
thanks, Lee.
That's my pleasure.
Gooner Princess, is it? I think at Gooner Princess.
No, Gooner Girl 1969. I think.
Oh, sorry,
didn't do your homework, Craig.
Right.
Should have done my homework. Should have done my homework.
Should have done your
homework. Thank you, Lee. And you will know how long he's known me for as well.
Sorry about that. Well, I don't really take much notice of people's Twitter handles, to be honest. I ain't going to try and fucking pronounce Lee Gunner's one, whatever that is. Leave football fucking
Mondial or something. Yeah.
No, it's Lee Gunner 82. It's quite
nice
straightforward.
The judge's one is nice.
It's Lee Gunner 82. It's no dramas.
No dramas. That's it. Like, yeah.
No dramas. We're at Lee Mark Judges.
Wow, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's a good one. I've got to say.
Thank you very much, Craig.
Lee Mark Judges. I like it.
Scotty boy Gooner. Love it.
Oh, no, that's a proper
yeah, I've done my homework. See, I've done my homework.
Oh, you're such a crawler. I've done my homework.
Yeah, that's a proper Twitter handle. And again, I've got to say, I know I keep saying it, but
yeah, the same old
genius name for a podcast.
Absolutely. That is genius. Is the word, Craig. It is genius.
Who made the name up, Craig?
Craig.
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Scotty boy, go now. He done that. Hey. Ching.
Love me. Yeah. So thanks for everyone for listening or watching, actually. But thanks for listening. If you're listening later on the audio on iTunes or on SoundCloud. Remember, after this, it will be up. I don't know why I'm telling you, because if you've watched it, you ain't going to listen to it. So, yeah, I'll stop there. It just it wouldn't make sense, would it? Why would they listen to it if they just watch it? Thanks for everyone who's watched live. Over 150 of you tuned in this evening. Thank you very much indeed. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, please do. And come and follow us at the same old Arsenal on Twitter. On Twitter. Essex Twitter. Twitter. Thank you to my guests this evening. Amanda and Lee, and of course, thank you to the judge. Quick predictions for Stoke City, please, Amanda.
2-2.
Oh God,
Deary me.
What?
It's all right, judge. I'll edit that out later.
Yeah.
Lee Gunner.
Well, I'm going to be positive. Because I'm the teacher's pet, so I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
Ooh.
I said that for
no, you didn't. You said 2-2, Amanda. Leave it there.
I said that for Friday night for Leicester.
I'm going 6-5 to Arsenal.
Lee.
Such a twat, honestly.
You were way out last week.
I'm going 2-1.
You and Harry Shot had a go at me.
Yeah.
Oh, I said 3-1. 3-1.
Hold on a minute.
Well, I actually won it because I got the most goals. So
No,
I'm with you.
I won.
Deficit of 2.
You said 2-1. I said
so deficit of 1 goal.
No. We scored 4 goals, so I win. I got closer.
No.
Yeah.
That's a deficit of 2.
That's how it works.
No, I'm not having that. What do you reckon on that, guys? That's not right, is it?
We won 4-3. I predicted 3-1. I got closest.
Yeah, I predicted 2-1, so I'm closest with the 1 goal.
You're not close.
I said 4-0, so I was well out. I got 4 goals right.
How can you be closer? You said 2-1.
Because you've got a deficit of 2 goals.
I got a deficit of 2 goals. I got closer.
Hold on. I'll be ref. Right.
Oh, no. Well, I've lost then, haven't I?
No, not necessarily, but you're wrong. 4-3. He says 3-1. He's nearer than you.
How is he nearer than me? He's got it wrong by 2 goals.
Hold on. Just shut up a second. Because 4 is nearer to 3 than 4 is nearer to 2.
Thank you, Amanda.
How can he not know that?
I need a bit of help here.
It's not rocket science, is it?
Lee. Names.
I think that all these stick together.
Thank you.
So I'm back.
Lee Gunner,
the deficit was 1 goal.
Thank you.
Lee Judge's deficit was 1 goal.
1 goal. Thank you very much.
But how many goals did Arsenal score?
Thank you very much.
How many goals did Arsenal score? It goes on goals scored, not deficit.
Okay, well, I predicted 4-0, so I got the 4 goals right. So
no, you're actually nearest all of you.
No way.
Lee Gunner wins.
You didn't predict 4-0 on this show. You didn't predict 4-0 here. The fuck
but exactly. That shows the point, though, doesn't it? Because if someone said 6-0, they're going to get closer than what I did.
No.
I'm having it.
Lee Gunner's closer than all of you. If he says 4-0,
exactly. I win. Just give me the trophy.
Thank you. No.
What's your real prediction?
I'm going for 2. I'm going to go for 2-1 to the Arsenal. There'll be 2-0 up, and we'll be hanging on at the end.
Right. Okay. I'm going 4-1 Arsenal.
Oh, shut up, Craig.
Hey,
No.
what's wrong here? 4-1.
Stoke away
Yep.
Saturday night.
Stoke away on a
We
Saturday.
beat
you
them
say
4-1 last season.
Yeah, we
away.
did. Yeah.
Right. If you do 4-1, I
To
will
be fair, they were on the beach
do
at
a
the time, though.
forfeit.
But
Yeah. I wish.
She just said she'd do a forfeit. If they
No,
win
I didn't.
4-1.
I said
Yes,
I'll
you
do
did.
3 or something.
All right. We'll have to think of one, Craig. It'll
No,
be a
not
good one.
you. Craig's got to think of one, not you.
Well, I'll be whispering in his ear.
Oh,
I'll tell you that now.
To be honest, Amanda, you'd probably want Lee to do it instead of me, to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, let's skedaddle. Thank you everyone for watching. Once again, thank you everyone who is listening
Cheers.
on audio, on iTunes or SoundCloud. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week when we will be joined by Brandon Tops and Andy, who's been on before with us, Mr. Goonerman Slim.
Oh, Andy.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Up the Arsenal.
Really good.
Bye.
4-1.